You know, funnily enough, I was queuing up at Kasarani for the president's speech, and I was listening because a lot of university students, and I remember turning to my wife and said, you know, look at the potential, because it was intelligent conversation, hungry for success. Now, if I could just finish off there quickly, you know, does a bank like yourself, I saw you made an announcement, a 1 billion shilling startup fund, is that correct? I heard you
absolutely
right?
correct to say that. But we have 3 strategies for us how to engage with our small businesses. And largely whether they're SMEs or startups. So today we have a Biashara club that has got 30,000 members. You know, I've been running for the last 7-8 years. You know, they do global benchmarking. You remember I speak about, it's not the big bank that will come and change our markets today, but it's about building relationship, building collaborations, and lastly, partnerships that bring global expertise here. That's why we have the Googles here, the HPs here, the GEs here. That's why we have Microsoft here. And that vision makes that, as well as we are local, become global. So we've also been able to build 20 billion shillings loans in the last 3 years on SMEs. And our goal is to build that by another 30 billion in the next 3 years. And these are loans which are structured in terms of supporting their businesses. They are much more affordable. So in terms of the pricing, we look at each business profile, link them in the value chain of agribusiness, technology, transportation, aviation, tourism, every sector. Because what we see is, in addition as we need funding, we also need the mentorship, the connection to the value chain. That's what makes them successful. Funding by itself, Alikan, and that's what we want to provide. And then we realize for real startups, which may not have the access to funds, we set up an innovation fund. We set up a seed fund of 1 billion shillings in the next 3 years.
Who will be implementing that? Because, you know, Joshua, people worry that a bank, you know, to understand the startup culture, this is it's slightly different, or what's the model going to be?
So we said we're going to work very closely with the Enterprise Kenya.
Yes.
Because Enterprise Kenya has set up a kind of a program and says we have a team that looks at all these ideas. There's a process to validate them, to check them, to work with them. And then it's not free money, Ali Khan. I mean, any business idea that will be successful needs to pay back the money that's borrowed. Absolutely true. The issue here is breaking accessibility. This is the biggest issue. I have no security. I have no guarantees. But we're going to stand firm. And we build a lot of knowledge. You'll be very surprised. You know, there's a young man that did for us, very excited. You know, we have 2 businesses we're working with. One is Riverbank Solutions. Young Kenyan startups setting up. Today they're running business in excess of 500 million Kenyan shillings. Startup. Wow. Absolute startup. They're a technology company. They provide digital payment solutions. We're working with them from the last 3-4 years. We were the first business to give them funding as a startup to build the businesses.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The young man that built up a mobile app today, which I'm very excited about, the KCB mobile app, 3 million shillings. Not much. But we could provide that seed fund and say, run with it. To guys, so far we're building 100 million shillings of income in 6 months with this product.
So you've really sort of empowered these entrepreneurs.
So this is the most important aspect for us. That I also do believe that they are also, I'm looking to learn a lot from Safaricom. They set up their angel fund a year ago for $1 million or so.
That's right.
So it's about This is an issue of saying it is me versus another organization. It's about how do we collaboratively build our knowledge and capability to imagine new solutions. That's for me. And then we link them up. Once you start up, naturally you are in the value chain. So our SME team will then pick you up and say, okay, now you've got some resources, you have businesses, can you plug you in the business model of the financial institutions? And these are the next large organizations for our country. So I look at this as a continuum. A startup in itself is not an isolation incident. It's part of the journey of building a great Kenya, a great region, and a great Africa.
Fantastic.